Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Beautiful morning out here in Milan. I don't know how the weather is there, but it's beautiful here. It's cool. My name is Godwin Iweajuan, and it's a beautiful day, Friday, the international update. Who are these people facing me?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. BD, your frame is frozen. Okay, I think our frame is frozen there. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my name is George Chukwu, all the way from Toronto, Canada. And I just want to welcome good morning from wherever you might be watching. Good afternoon and good evening, depending on where you're watching from. So I just want to welcome you to our News Echo Friday World Affairs. We have so much to discuss with you. Please, let's interact, get involved, give us your opinion. It is very important. That's why we're here, to collaborate with you. So I want to welcome you to this episode.
Powerful one, George. Interact, collaborate, and let's hear your opinion. Viewers, these are George's words, and that's what we want. Big George, there's small fire, talk back fire going on between former President Atiku and APC President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So Atiku said something on Thursday. He said that if he gets into office, he will bring back the subsidy, the fuel subsidy that was taken off. He will restore it. Now, it's a very delicate issue to raise up. But anyway, the presidency challenged Atiku to that talk, discussion he made, and they said the president said it shows that he's seriously ignorant of what is going on in the economy. So let's hear, George, what is all this? What can we make sense of it, George?
Well, I mean, this is a very delicate issue, okay? Because number one, I have always maintained from the very beginning, from the very first day that our president, got on the podium after accepting, after being inaugurated, and then he said, subsidy is gone. That is where the ignorance is. You cannot come on a place where you have authority and people can react or respond to your statement and say subsidy is gone. You've not gone into the office. You don't know nothing about the subsidy. Everything you hear about the subsidy is being told you. A lot of people are saying, I will stop it. Many of the candidates actually mentioned they will take care of the subsidy. But you can do the right thing the wrong way and it becomes wrong. Okay, the story is very essential in a 2027 economic policy confrontation. Atiku Abubakar says he would restore a form of petrol subsidy, arguing that Nigerians have suffered from its removal and questioning where the savings have gone. Okay,
well, that's not.
The presidency is now demanding that he explain how much his proposed subsidy would cost, where the money would come from, and how it will be legally and fiscally sustained. That's
Oh,
another issue. Now,
that's
why
another
is
issue.
that's
Okay.
another issue? So
Uh,
now, is
mhm.
what I was saying correct? Is he saying that Nigerians have suffered tremendously from the very beginning up until today? Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Was subsidy needed to be removed? Yes, indeed.
Okay.
The how you removed it was what caused all kinds of issues. You cannot enter into a room without assessing where the furniture is. If it's dark in that place, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna stumble. You
You're going
gotta
to
come
stumble.
in and learn,
Learn
and
first.
then
Well,
apply.
they will say, George, they will say he probably had some consultation with some economic experts and some financial gurus, blah, blah, blah. He
Unfortunately,
had, uh,
unfortunately, if he
yeah,
did, if he
mhm,
did, they deceived him
they deceived him. Okay,
because
George,
many.
we're going to hold up. Let's get
Yeah, welcome,
Prof. Prof
Charles.
is here. Yes, Prof. Good morning. We see beautiful brick wall. Beautiful brick wall.
I'm breaking through that beautiful brick wall right now. Happy Friday. Good morning.
Happy Friday. Good morning, Prof. Charles.
Morning, Prof.
Morning, Sir George and my brother Matthew.
Yes, sir. Good morning. So,
Morning.
Prof,
Yes.
it's a hot one going on, and you being an academician will also help us. Prof, there's talk back going on. Atiku came yesterday and said if he gets into office, he's bringing back the subsidy. And the presidency came out. In fact, the president himself said this shows that Atiku has some ignorance, some serious ignorance on the economy. So,
it sounds like the campaign has started.
It has started.
Oh, 2 days ago, or yesterday, as a matter of it started already.
So, what's your view on this, Prof? George has been.
I have a very not just philosophical, but more or less even I dare say a radical view on the subsidy, but a view that we try not to say too loudly. Mostly because I think when you start to subsidize a lifestyle for people, it only means that they are going to go further and further into debt. So technically speaking, I think we have a saying, sow your coat according to your size. And I think that is where the subsidy, when we start subsidizing fuel for people's cars, comes in. I think there are two sides of this coin. One of the side of the coin is the fact that we don't have good public transportation system in our country. I think that if we had good public transportation system, people wouldn't bother about getting into debt, buying a car when it's very challenging for them to buy the petrol to drive the car. So essentially, I would propose that instead of providing subsidy for people to be able to put gas in their car, let's provide for efficient, functional public transportation systems. That is what we need. And I bet you a lot of people will not bother about driving themselves to work and get in those terrible traffic that by the time they get to work, they are sweating. And, it's a big challenge for most people. So really, we need to focus on providing public transportation system all across the country. Perhaps the savings from the subsidy can do that for us versus squabbling about subsidy or no subsidy. Take it away, bring it back. I think I would agree with the current government that bringing subsidy back is not the right way to go. I don't think so.
Strong stand. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, George.
Now,
Before I go, I want to add a little thing, gentlemen. It's very obvious that we didn't see the effect of the subsidy taking off. Life became even more harder for Nigerians. I mean, people were going through a lot. George, go ahead.
What Atiku is saying, there's a clear political dimension to that. Atiku is presenting subsidy restoration as an alternative to Tinubu economic reforms. The reason why he's doing this is politics. The reason why he's doing it is because ever since the removal of subsidy, Nigerians have plunged into economic chaos. Number one. Number two, hardship have faced so many. Transportation of goods, food movement in Nigeria, prices have soared. There is a lot of inflation in our country today. What you do when you do such sensitive situation that affects people's lives, you take your time. You can do it progressively. Up until today, we're talking about the government. The governors are receiving more money. The money that they are receiving is equal to the inflation. Because if, for instance, if you used to receive $1 million before, and then all of a sudden the value of the money has already, fallen so badly that even when you give them 2 or 3 million, it will be the same amount of money when you really calculate it in what it could buy. So, all these things are the questions that are being asked. I am not saying that article is correct, but all I'm saying is that the presidency wants to put the burden on article to demonstrate the proposal is financial, that how to be able to come up with that. I believe that insult is not the way to go. You can come out and explain yourself and show what subsidy have done to improve the lives of the people, number one.
All right.
And
All right,
number
George.
two, wait a minute. Number two, you can also show that this is the advantages that the nation as a whole have acquired from the subsidy removal. So throwing insults is not the way to go, especially in this campaign period.
Well, there'll be more insults, George. You know how politicians go. So we want to bring in, I want to welcome our diva from Lagos, Nigeria. Bidi, can you hear us?
Indeed, Diva Bidi, good to see you.
Bidi, can you hear? You're not listening. Can you hear us?
It doesn't sound like she can.
Okay, I don't think she can. It's still that Nigerian issue because our BD is on ground. BD can also give us that very practical outlook to this discussion we have. Prof, you stood with the present government, but people are saying people have other views. A lot of people are saying different things. But one thing remained that George also used to say. It wasn't it a wrong step that the presidency took to just come on that day of inauguration, and while they are on the pulpit, he came for something else. He came for being sworn in, and he's there announcing subsidy being removed. And George is saying
it's a function of ignorance.
Aha. So what do you say?
It is.
Bidi, we want to hear you, Bidi. Aha.
Yeah, okay. Good day, everyone. Prof.
Good day.
George, Massive Mike. Nice to be here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Bidi.
Same here.
Yes. Yeah, Prof, go ahead.
Yeah, so you see, I always say that you may have the best strategy in the world, but if you are not communicating it to people so they understand why you are doing what you are doing, everybody gets lost. So it's not the taking away of the subsidy that was the issue. It's the fact that it was not communicated. A lot of people have been advocating for the removal of the subsidy for years. Even I remember as far back as the time of GEJ, they wanted to remove the subsidy, but nobody had the courage to do it. And so if you look at what is the percentage of the population what is the percentage that has vehicles to drive around, that needs to buy gas, that needs to buy petrol, that depend on the subsidy? See, so the idea that removal of the subsidy is the reason why we are in poverty is not true.
It's part of it. It's part of
it. Well, it's a very small part of it. And so the removal was a bold step. And obviously, I think, again, before somebody start calling me, I'm an APC. I don't carry any political party's flag. I'm not subscribed to any political party in our homeland. I just want to see a functional government, a government that takes care of the people, an efficient government, not a government that really most of them are enjoying having billions and billions and billions in their bank accounts and in their homes. Many of the people cannot afford a 3 square meal a day. I mean, that is not as a result of subsidies, it's a result of mismanagement. And so they have to do differently. They have to be able to communicate their strategy to the people. And right now, they're not doing. I mean, you talk about campaign. They will campaign. That is one aspect of politicking, but they have to be able to explain what they are going to do for the people very clearly. If they are making decisions, they have to explain why they are making those decisions. Don't just come and just treat the people as if they are not human beings.
Mm.
So really,
before Billy comes in,
Okay.
Billy comes in, okay.
Mm-hmm.
The legitimate question we need to ask: if subsidy removal had saved so much money, Nigeria deserves a transparent account of where those savings actually went.
Went
We
to.
don't have it.
Okay.
The finance ministry itself says that the old subsidy was projected to cost about 6.7 trillion in 2023, equivalent to roughly 70% of the federal government actual revenue. What has subsidy removal, actually achieved is what you're going to ask, because it can be a good idea, but what is the function of it? Because of the way that it was applied in the lives of the people. Good.
So,
Because
BD, take it from there.
Check the price of gas. BD, you're in Lagos.
Yes.
You're in Lagos. What was the price of gas? A liter of fuel. Before the subsidy and after the subsidy. Then we can equate it to the sufferings of the people in logistics, in transportation, food delivery, airplane, everything. So people are suffering because of it, because of wrong application of a good thing. That's my stance.
BD, help us here. Go ahead.
I say, for some of you who believe that subsidy, paying of subsidy, is one of the things that's kept Nigerians poor. My question is this: they said we are 54 years or 55 years now. For the past 40 something years, we've been paying subsidy. We're still in poverty. For over 7 years, we've not been paying subsidy. We're still in poverty. We're even more into poverty now. So paying or not paying subsidy has not anything to do with we being poor as a nation. It has everything to do with management, non compliance of law in this country. Yes, let me tell you, because if you are into business in this country, or you get to understand how Nigerian businesses work, you will understand that what is actually sustaining Nigeria is the small scale business, the money that runs around. That's what sustains Nigeria in this country. The main money that Nigerians make are not in Nigeria. They are being flown out of this country on a daily basis.
Yes.
The politicians, the big names, the money they make out of Nigerians, they are not in Nigeria. The people that runs Nigeria are the small, medium business.
Plus the diaspora remittance.
Plus diaspora people that remit up to 60% into this country. The main money that is being owned in this country is not in this country. They are being flown out of this country on a daily basis in large quantity. So now let me talk about the subsidy removal. Tinubu assumed office. Immediately he assumed office, he announced the subsidy removal. And from that moment, from that second, everything turned around in this country. Things became so difficult. What we should understand is this: Nigerian economy is fuel-based economy. The car, the generator, everything revolves around it. Your movements, everything. And because we don't have an organized system, once there is an increase in fuel, The woman that is selling granules increases. The woman that is selling vegetable increases. Everybody increases. So we should be very careful when it comes to fuel in this country. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu mounted that podium without thinking, without calculating, without considering the people he assumed or he claimed to lead, and he made that utterances. And since that day till today, Nigerians have not known peace or have direction. I'm telling you, yes, I know. At least I was one of those people during the Jonathan that went for Occupy Nigeria. I was one of those people. They were saying reduce the fuel pump price. Do you understand? A lot of people said we should remove subsidy, but there is a plan, there's a procedure. You don't just go and remove subsidy. There is a studio. There are things you should put in place. There are things that should be working before you remove it. You don't just remove it. Now let's assume he has removed it over 7 years, going to 8 years now. Where are the
No,
money that have been removed in subsidy?
over
Nobody
3
can
years.
account for
Over
it.
3 years, not 7 years.
No one can account for it. Do you understand? The poverty has become so tense. If you come to Nigeria now, people walk distance. I'm telling you, you've had stories of people collapsing. Why are people collapsing in Nigeria? People are collapsing and dying there's no week people don't collapse and die in the streets of Nigeria. But we don't talk things that matters or concerns us. Why? Because people walk long distance, and they're walking this long distance without food in their stomach. Hardship, people are suffering. Things are difficult in Nigeria. Do you understand? Because our economy is fuel-based economy. Anything that touches that fuel touches every angle, every corner of our economy and our lives shuts down. But we are not thinking in that direction. Just say poverty, poverty. It has everything to do with leadership, poor leadership, poor leadership. That's what
Okay.
it is. And
Powerful.
Nigerians are
Okay,
suffering.
okay,
Campaign has started now.
Mhm. Yeah. Good. Bidi, strong words. You're bringing it really
okay,
hard.
okay. Before Professor Chua, before you come in, prior to the subsidy 2023, the price of fuel was 185 to 198. Okay, that was the price of fuel. Today we are at 1,100, 1,200, even up to 1,500 naira per liter. So no,
That
I just you are an educator. So no, you quantify and statistically tell us the survival mode of anybody who used to pay 198 per liter and today they are paying 8,000. How many? What's the percentage of increase? So you see,
Uh,
it is not what you do, how you do it that actually matters. That's my argument. It was
uh,
a wrong assertion. You could have studied it, applied it, in a way that some things will cushion other things in order that people's lives will not be affected negatively. It was a
yeah.
yeah. Go
Well,
ahead.
that is true. All of that is correct. I agree. Remember, I said you might have the best strategy in the
is
world
being
if you're
sold
not.
for 1,300 and 1,200. We are talking about Lagos in Abuja. When you go to
Okay.
Southeast,
So,
you buy
if
fuel a liter for 1,517
Can you
in a
imagine?
fleet station. I'm not telling you black market. In fleet station, you buy fuel for 1,500, 1,700 in a fleet station. Do you understand?
so
And you can imagine from 180 naira to 1,300, 1,350, 1,250.
okay. So fair
Yes.
based according to
Been in this
Sister
country. They,
Sister
they,
Biddy.
will, they, will, they will shift the fuel price to
Bidi,
300.
Bidi,
After 2 weeks, they bring it down.
let Prof say it. Prof was on the line.
So
Prof, go ahead.
according to
Sorry for
Sister
that.
Biddy, we are the country is essentially a fair-based economy. You will hear other people saying, we don't produce, we consume. And if you extrapolate that, you find that there is the supply side of economics and the demand side of economics. And what typically in a functional system, what affects the price of anything is the supply versus the demand. Now, if we are essentially just a fair-based economy, because I think every one of us here is young enough to know that the absence of fuel shortage has been there for a long, long time. It did not start yesterday. It did not start during GJ. It did not start during Buhari. It's always been there, even during the military rule. We have fuel shortage, long lines, queues, trying to get fuel. And so what does that mean in this case? Of course, our population has grown. You have a lot more people driving these days, so you have more demand on fuel. And as Ms. Bidi said, even the market woman wants to take part in this new money. Once they hear, oh, there's no more subsidy, everybody capitalizes on it. Prices just go up everywhere. True or not, whether it's rational or not, everybody wants to make a deal. Everybody wants to get a piece of get a piece of the pie or get a share of the national cake. But we all know that today, as we are here, the fuel subsidy is not what is really affecting the high prices we are having. There is a war going on somewhere called Iran. There's something going on in the Strait of Hormuz, and that is a global impact on fuel. Even here in the US, the fuel price has gone up. I mean, within the last year and a half, we jumped from $2 a barrel. $2 a gallon to now over $4 a gallon. So I mean, you see, so it's a global impact on everybody. But I understand. I do understand what you are saying, my colleagues, that in Nigeria it's even higher. Again, that is because the people who need to communicate what they are doing to the general population, they're not, I don't think that, I don't know. Bibi, you tell us. I don't know how they are communicating their decisions to the people. I mean, they are trying to nickel and dime everything every transaction that happens on the internet. There's no healthcare. There's no good healthcare in the country, but it appears they are doing some things about that. To me, that would be more important than all this subsidy fight we are having. Is there healthcare? What about the educational system? What about the roads? What about all these? There's no water, good supply of water everywhere. We are still talking 2026. We are talking about boreholes. Okay. We are talking about boreholes. So fuel subsidy is not responsible for any of that. So that's my point.
Exactly. I that same point what I'm making, that it's not just a fuel subsidy thing. It's a leadership thing. It's a leadership thing. Now, there's another angle I want to come in from. You know, you said that the fuel price globally has gone high. Yes, I quite agree. But secondly, countries that produce or have this fuel has a way of leveraging a little or better than countries who don't have. And Nigeria happens to be among the top 10 countries that have this fuel. In as much as we can't, they say that we don't produce, but already we have one of the biggest refinery in Africa by our own son, Dangote. Now you talked about the healthcare, the this thing, and how are they communicating? You communicate to people you have regard for, people you respect. The truth is this: our leaders don't see us as humans. They don't regard us, so they don't need to communicate to us. What they do is just to take a decision they want. They don't listen to Nigerians, and that is why now. How do people communicate? People communicate by protests, by petitions. But what you have in Nigeria today is that when people petition, they pick them up. When people come out to protest, they pick them up. So we have governments that don't listen to people. All what they do is to wake up and make a decision, and you must abide by it. So they are not seeing Nigerian citizens as human. They don't have regard for them. So talking about healthcare, education, do you know that if we go to our budget, the least is education. The least budgeted in our budget is education, because Nigerian government don't see Nigerians as people who need a good education, or probably they don't even want Nigerians to educate because they don't want people to challenge them. Healthcare, see, recently you saw what has been flying in social media, the rate of kidney diseases in Nigeria. I went to
Yeah.
last week when my sister died. I went to a kidney center. The people you see, 85% of people you see there is from 13 years to 32, 37 years. The old people did not make up to 20%, maybe like 18%. Do you understand?
But but
Because
but
we
but,
don't
but
have a
really,
good health
is
system.
that also not the fault of those young people? This
It's
heavy
not. No, no, no,
stimulant,
no, no. It's
Lifestyle.
not.
heavy
Let me.
stimulant
No, no,
they are
no, no.
taking
And that is the narrative we have been pushing
on,
over the years. It's not. There,
on colos and all of these things they are taking. Okay, right. Yes. So viewers, we're still
it's
here.
it's
It's
not.
a Friday.
Sorry, please. I want to
International
bring this
Affairs.
in that it's not the fault of the young people. You know, there's this narrative we've been pushing over the years that they drink energy drink. They drink. Now, we went to a program last week. We counted 22 young children from 8 years to 18 years. 22 of them in one center. And we'll a sample of none of those children are drinking alcohol. None of them drink energy drink. Why? Now let me tell you one of the reasons. What we eat in this country. You saw when they approved GMO. In the developed world, they are sincere people. You go to more, they tell you this is GMO, this is organic. You make your choice. But Nigerians will not tell you that. Our regulatory system is poor. I last week I went to the market, I bought oil. I was making okra soup. I almost poured half bottle of oil. If I show you that soup is as black as charcoal, half bottle of red oil. You know what we are eating? Chemical. After eating that soup for this first day, we'll throw it out because that's all like, how can we put a whole half bottle of oil in a soup? And it does not look like you added one. Rather, it was dark. What the kidney you're having in Nigeria is what we eat. It's not drink. Let's stop those narratives they are pushing. It's what we eat. Buy tomato in the market, you will not see any seed in it. Buy orange, you will not see any seed in it. It's what we eat because we don't have a good regulatory body who regulate these people. When you produce GMO, tell people it's GMO. When you have a then tell it, but we don't have that. It
All
still
right.
boils down at that leadership problem.
Leadership.
Do you
All right.
understand? So let's look at issues the way they are so that we can get results and stop pushing bad and not narrative that is not good. Everything
Okay.
boils down to
All
leadership.
right.
People.
There is something that I saw recently, and it was sent to me from Nigeria, but that they eat in the Enugu State area. So they were saying that are being produced in the Enugu State area, Oji River area, that they have discovered that they are adding some coloring to it. And nobody knows what these colorings are. And those colorings, and that's why you were seeing a lot of people having kidney issues in those areas. So one of the things we need to really institute is even these mom pop stores that are selling some goods, trying to develop their own ways of keeping things fresh. What the chemicals they're using could be very harmful to human beings. We need to check into it. We need to let the public know that you cannot just develop any chemical that you want to use to do certain things. I see it here myself. I bought plantain, and after a few days, that plantain, the back of the plantain, became so soggy. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at this whole thing. There was something that was sprayed over it. And I stopped going to that store to buy plantain. So these are the things that are happening. But also, another thing that I wanted to round up with is, this subsidy that we are talking about. I know the government has done a few things, okay, that could be positive. I see the removal of the subsidy, reduced a huge direct burden on government finances and eliminated the need to spend billions subsidizing petrol consumption. But that money needed to go somewhere to, do something else, according to what the government is saying. It improved government revenue and fiscal flexibility, according to the government and independent assessment. It has also helped strengthen the public finance, foreign reserve, and investor confidence, according to Nigeria Finance Minister and according to Reuters. So these are some feasible thing, visible things that we have seen the subsidy has done. But all I'm saying is this: subsidy removal was necessary. Application was completely and absolutely wrong.
So, are you going to say then? Well, you just says you just ascribed some good things that the removal has done. So
Yes.
you are now saying let's reinstate it, and then what happens to those things?
No, 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 no.
I think
No, I never said that.
because
I never said. I said there is a political dimension to that, and I believe that the reason why Atiku was saying this, he was only saying it as what you call alternative to Tinubu's economic reforms. That's what I'm
yeah
saying. I don't
yeah
think
but,
it's right. He cannot do that
okay
anyway.
okay
But anyway,
okay.
another thing about Professor Charles, listen to this. Do you know that after the so-called removal of subsidy, that the government continue paying subsidy for the longest time?
Well,
We have proof for
yeah,
that.
yeah,
We have
yeah.
proof.
Well, yeah. I read the same. I read the same. I mean, not the same, but some of the same reports. The reality is, we robbing Peter to pay Paul. The fact that we continue to borrow at such a high rate tells you that the treasury was either empty or somebody was not telling us the truth. It can even be both. It was empty and nobody was telling us what was going on. Now, when the subsidy was removed, the money should have been directed to something. Again, whether it's education or I
Transportation.
continue to talk about that, or healthcare, or or building of our roads or infrastructure. That is where the money could have gone there, so that we can see, oh, really, the removal of subsidy has taken care of some of these things. But there was another topic that both of you, both yourself and Sister Bidi, were talking about that also made sense. So the removal is one thing. The fact that, you know, that a whole cross section of our population, or a whole cross section of the population, doesn't have access literally to anything. Now, who accounts for that? How is that? Whether it's the money, whether the money is going to the states, what is happening at the federal level is the same thing that's happening at the state level. I mean, there's no difference. I mean, they are the same thing. Federal, state, they are birds of a feather. They're doing exactly the same. The processes are essentially the same, but it appears there are some changes that will be coming or can happen, because I think people are becoming more open to addressing these issues and not just keep quiet and say, "Kisera, sera, let it just be." No, people are beginning to say, "No, we don't want this, we don't want that," and we've always talked about, you need somebody that has courage to make the decisions, and then make sure you're explaining to the people why you are making certain decisions. Without any explanations, there's a lot of rumors floating around, and everybody lives by those rumors.
Well, gentlemen, let's take note that Atiku, he's playing with words. What he said is a model, a new subsidy model. He said, so he's not totally saying bringing it back or removal and all of that. He said he has a model, and probably this is his way to get voters' attention. Maybe. Anyway, viewers, this is what's
judges' attention for sure.
Okay. In conclusion to this, okay. So the real question should not be Atiku, how would you fund the subsidy? It should also be, government, show the Nigerians naira for naira what subsidy savings has funded. That is the transparency Nigeria deserves. So, I mean, if you're removing something and then it's causing a lot of problem, and you go and tell them, okay, this is what we are achieving, this is what we have done, you know that if they have, somebody was just arguing a couple of days ago about the subsidy. They were saying that the new road that they are building from Lagos to Calabar, that coastal road, is going to cost 15 trillion naira.
It has costed.
No, it's cost 15 trillion. That 15 trillion also was what it was going to take to fix the roads that are messed up today.
Yes, we've
That's
talked about
exactly
that.
amount.
We've talked about
That's
that
it.
very in many of our edition.
Yes.
Even though some people don't agree, they were saying it's not so fair. The other colleagues,
No,
it's sheer waste of priority. That was a misguided priority the federal government did, building a coastal road and leaving
what
the already bad ones not repaired. So I mean, I don't know who gives those advices, but it's a problem we have, Big George. Thank you very much. Um, we've said we've gone very deep in this, and it's good. But George, 46 people died in Sokoto, a boat accident in Sokoto, and this keep happening. I wonder why a small river that is not up to that river is not as big as the Atlantic Ocean. It's just small, but people die. Boat capsizes. People find themselves drowning and all of that. It's sad. George,
it
did you
is
hear that
very.
news?
Yeah, I did had I heard that news. Yeah, they said that 46 people, have reportedly been killed
Yeah.
and 15 rescued in this tragic boat accident in Sokoto,
Yes. Mhm.
raising serious questions about waterway safety and regulatory oversight. You
Yes.
see,
Waterway
yeah,
safety.
we're doing this again and again and again. I
Exactly.
don't know why we cannot be preventive, always apologizing. The bigger question is, how can local government allow boats to operate without properly monitoring their condition, passenger capacity, life jacket, and other basic safety standards? Is life really worthwhile in Nigeria? There must be a clear safety regulations, regular inspection, licensing, and enforcement. Boat transportation should not become a death trap simply because safety oversight is neglected. We need to pay attention to these things. I don't know why we are always on the apologizing, sending condolence messages, but not doing anything to prevent this from happening again. So this is something that the local government must take care of. The state governments must pay attention
Yeah.
to. It is very
and and
important.
and, and this is why the network is here, and you're both here to give this beautiful insight to prevention measures. Thank you so much, George. That was a good one. Dr. Prof, we also heard close to you there, we heard that 13 workers died in a Colombia mine disaster. We keep hearing that from Colombia too. Prof, did you have the news? 13 people dying in the mine, uh, Colombia.
No,
Sorry for that.
oh, my mic.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot happening these days, and I think
Mhm.
mining, people dying in mines, that's again, that's something that I don't know what safety measures they have there in Colombia per se, but
Mhm.
we know that this affair of people getting trapped, some getting
Mhm.
trapped, some dying, has
Mhm.
been happening from time to time. It's a bit more seasonal than
Yes.
the tragic accidents we have in our country. Our hearts go out to the families of those that were involved. I hope that some lives were saved, and hopefully, just the same way as George was saying, they put some safety measures in place to avoid future disasters. I think that's usually what you learn from some of these tragedies. Find out what happened and what can be done to prevent it from happening in the future.
John.
What are the lessons learned? So put some things in place, and so absolutely. And the case of Sokoto, I was surprised when I saw a Sokoto tragedy boat. How? But
Small river. Small river.
yeah, I mean,
And
it is very possible that particular boat was overcrowded.
That's it.
that's
It's
what that's
also
what
and the weight could have even caused that tragedy.
Mm.
But unfortunately, this is common all across the country. It's either on the highway, the transportation system is over. People are hanging on the roof and sitting on the roof, sitting on the doors, and nobody pays attention. The tires are all worn out. I mean, there's a lot of different ways we can save
right.
lives all over the place, but nobody seems to pay attention. The transportation minister is not. There's no enforcement of any of these laws or rules all across
Mm.
the board. So not just on the sea, but literally everywhere. everywhere. And so, yes.
I hope they are listening to us here now. These are very good point of view that the local stations might not even be saying because they don't understand. So this is why it's important that SSM keeps doing this, help the government, the African government, Nigerian government in so many of their policies. Gentlemen, I want us to come to this topic because it's very serious. 3 days ago, they went again to Plateau State, Jos, and killed people in their sleep. And it's sad. Now, the anger in me on that story, because I got a direct person, a journalist from Plateau State sent me a video clip yesterday. I think I shared it. And he said, Mark, we need to talk about this more to the world. They are killing our people. So let me start with Sir George. Even though the governor of the state, Caleb Mafewang, has said that nobody will take their land, he promised them, but they are killing them to take their land. They are coming in the night to kill them.
That's exactly the situation. Governor Caleb assuring the people that nobody will take their land is important. It might give you a little bit of hope. But after years of reoccurring violence, displacement, and loss of lives in Plateau, residents need more than assurances. These assurances has been coming. Every time people are killed, they come out and they tell you, oh, we're going to do the best we can. We send their condolence messages. The latest attack in Mangu, reportedly, the third attack in 1 week in the same place, in 1 week, raises a painful question. How can communities remain on their ancestral land when they cannot sleep safely in their homes? Come on, man. I mean, is it that we have lost our runkers, the way we think? What are we doing in Nigeria? What is this? Come on. A bunch of hoodlums have taken over. And this is a systemic removal of people from the ancestral land to be replaced by others. Thousands of Plateau residents have been displaced over the years. Many of those families losing loved ones, homes and farms, and many spending years in IDP camps. Is there any kind of help for the people in IDP camps? Government after government has promised security, arrests, decisive action, yet the attacks keep, returning. What are we doing? The bigger questions are, why are vulnerable communities repeatedly cut off guard? Why is intelligence not preventing these attacks? Who is being held accountable for the previous attacks? When will displaced people safely return home? And what happens after the 2 weeks military operation ends in this place? Protecting ancestral land is not just about telling people that they will not be displaced. It means creating the security conditions that make it possible for them to live, to farm, to sleep, to raise up their families without any fear.
To farm, to sleep, George. These are strong words. The Prof, sadly, most parts of these places, these bandits go to kill people, are where the farming communities of Nigeria.
That's the food basket of Nigeria.
Yes, where we rely on for beans, plantain, and all of those things. Prof, how don't you think owning guns, farmers owning guns, or what could be a solution, Prof? What's this?
Yeah, I think I agree with Sir George completely in terms of the anger, the lack of care by those in charge, whether it's the state government or federal government, because this thing has been going on for so long. By now, there should be something in place to prevent, or first of all, to detect and prevent this from happening, whether it's through intelligence, whether it's through constant patrolling by police, whether it's patrolling from the sky, or whether they use drones or helicopters or whatever, so that the people doing these things, if we call them bad guys, they will know that before somebody is looking out, watching out to prevent them from showing up. Some things should have been put in place by now over the years, because this did not start yesterday, did not start 2, 3, 4 years ago. It's been going on for too long. And so I believe that both the local, the state, and the federal government are all they're all complicit in this, because they are not doing anything to prevent it, because it's happening constantly. It's happening constantly. What people do, what if you will, as societies that care for human lives, we do, is they have a system in place. Either some police station somewhere that will be watching over the environment. They will have some patrol cars all over the place. And then they will have, I know we don't have electricity, but you have some solar controlled cameras all across the place that should be mounted somewhere. I think that there should be a joint effort between the local government, the state government, and the federal government to make sure that this thing does not happen again. They have to have a plan in place. Come on, these are human lives. These are not animals. These are human beings.
These are human beings.
For this to continue to happen almost every month, every other month,
Every week.
it doesn't matter whether they are Christians or Muslims or atheists or non-believers. These are Nigerians, human beings, for crying out aloud. There's no reason why this should be happening in 2026. No reason whatsoever.
Strong words. Viewers, we are stamping our feet on this. We need to settle this once and for all. Federal government of Nigeria, how do you allow your citizens to be killed like cows, slaughtered like animals?
What are you talking about?
In the ancestral land.
Whoa. Go and kill one fowl today, one cow today, and see what will happen to you.
Okay.
Go kill one cow today in the north, and see if you don't end up in prison, and they might bring you and stone you alive. Cows are better. Cows worth more than humans in that place. Think about it for a moment. Think about it. Cows are worth more than lives in these areas to the people in that area. Plateau people deserve action.
They deserve
Accountability and lasting security, not another cycle of attacks followed by empty promises that doesn't make any sense.
And condolences that keeps.
And condolences. No.
Oh man, this is sad. Gentlemen, you know, I had to exit a group because I posted the video of that incident, and the admin called me and said, "Mark, no, this is too. We don't want this kind of thing." And I said, "Listen, you will be deceiving yourself as Nigerians in this group if we're not talking this. This is the reality in our country. People will be sleeping. Some people will come through the gate and slash their necks off."
It's despicable, unacceptable. I mean, I'm serious. I'm serious. This is just unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
So last Friday, when I referred to what was going on in this part of the country, I thought it seemed like it was why are you rehashing something that happened in the past? And here we are, less than a week after that, it's happening again. There's
something going on. There's something going on. Even this Osun election that took place. Okay, you know what Davido did? Davido was posting. They were sending him results, live results of different places in Osun election. Do you know that Senator Akpabio called him allegedly and told him to stop posting that? And even Dangote called him, he said, to stop posting those things. That means that it was already pre-planned what they were supposed to be doing. And him openly posting those things will create the issue, create problems for them to do. I can tell you tomorrow that if Davido did not do what he did, that election will not go the same way.
Yes. And Nigerians, our viewers here watching, Nigerians, we are calling you to do more with your phones come 2027. Don't be coward, don't be intimidated. This device we have in our hands is the life changer for Nigerian politics. So nobody can do anything because you're videoing them at real time and you have the evidence. So Nigerians, hold your phone. Come 2027, let's go with our phones to the polling booth to make real action. It's time. Gentlemen, I think our time is fast spent. But there's this funny, interesting story that I came across during the week. There's a church called Christ Embassy church in Nigeria. Now, Christ Embassy Church has gone into car production, and we're talking of high-tech cars. Maybe some of us know of that pastor, Chris Oyakilome. Now they are manufacturing high-tech cars. Beautiful. I love this.
Where is it being manufactured at?
I think it's somewhere in Asia anyway. Asia.
Okay, let me tell you something.
But the talk there is my little point there is. But during the COVID, this was the same pastor that said science is killing the world. 5G is, and those cars have 5G in them. It has AI in them. So
probably 6G.
We need to, this men of God that uses their pulpit to confuse people, sell some not verified facts. We need to put them in check. They need to stop those things. Yeah, go ahead, Prof.
So the question I have is, it's manufactured. The cars are being manufactured in Asia. They are going to be transported to Nigeria.
Yes.
Who is the target market? Who's going to be buying these cars? Where are the roads they are going to be driven on? And where does the money they make out of this? Where does it go? Who's going to account for it? Where did they get the money to go and set up an assembly in Asia? Why not put that assembly plant in somewhere like Edo Central, where he's from? He's from Edo Central.
Yes.
Why not put it there? Employ some of those young people who have no jobs. Some of those graduates from universities who have no job. Why not get a bunch of all these engineers who are roaming the streets without jobs? And again, who's going to be buying those cars?
Where are the charging ports going to be?
Well,
are they going to build charging ports? Because
they are going to be solar powered. It's a joke. It's a joke. No, we have a lot of solar. We have a lot of solar energy in Nigeria and Africa. And so I think some things are just so ridiculous sometimes you wonder. I mean, and I'm glad you brought up that point, Mark, because during COVID, he was one of the antagonists of Bill Gates and the 5G with the phone. Don't buy the phone, and I bet you go and see now he's probably using one of the bigger phones that's using 5G and 6G.
The car. When he was putting out the demonstration, the car has everything. The car. He even said he was saying the words. The car has everything. It has AI. Automated things. And this is the same person that said all of these things as Lucifer, as satanic.
So that's why even those scriptures, they said in the last days they are going to make merchants of you, or making merchandise of you, and they will be doing it from the pulpit. And so,
you see, where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint. And that's exactly what is happening. And what is happening that a lot of these ministers are not answerable to anybody.
Yes.
Okay. There is no control. There is no disciplinary, regulatory system whereby they just do whatever, say whatever, manipulate people. All kinds of things are happening, and I can guarantee you, their master is very upset. Grace is covering them, but a time will come when grace will cease to cover these people, because number one, we see all kinds of manipulation, using people, all kinds of things going on, all in the name of churching, all in the name of mosquing. We need to control some of these things. I know that freedom of religion is supposed to be allowed, but there ought to be oversight, some kind of oversight, so people cannot just run and do whatever they want to do. There are some countries that are curtailing it now. But this is because of abuse.
It's because of abuse. Yes, UK is trying to do that too. Sorry, we have a viewer here that says, have we discussed Dino's speech? Excellent. That Dino's video is not actually a speech, and it's an old clip that was many years back during the 2023 something. So, but also Dino becomes very vulgar. He says things. He just says random things. Anything. Sometimes he doesn't have his facts. It's just an opposition. So we don't add that into our comments. We don't, because it's not verified. Some of the things he says are just things to make the opposition party feel, like he's saying things. Like Kenneth Okonkwo, they just come out and say anything. We don't align ourselves to such
individuals, and I'm glad, because some of these people, they just come and because you can speak, because you have the gift of oratory, doesn't mean that you don't think and reason before you speak. So it's
by the way, I hope our sister Biddy is okay. And the way she disappeared.
No, I think it's her network. Yes.
Okay.
Network.
All right, big brothers, this is it. We are done. Anything we need to know, Prof? Is there any news at all? Anything anywhere you think you want us to?
There's a whole lot of. I think the biggest news this week was the fact that we passed. We hit the 40 trillion debt ceiling, and that's it's scary. I think it's going to be the biggest topic, the biggest news in the next several weeks, because it's a target. Nobody has ever been there before. There were a lot of clips floating around last night. Say, hey, how did you? We were promised that we were not going to get anywhere close to this, and in fact, the one that was even very telling was when a clip was shown that said 24 trillion is a point of no return, but right now we're at 40 trillion. So it's a scary place to be. So when you talk about subsidy, talk about those other things, I'm telling you, there's something more scary than what. So we don't know. It's a waiting game right now. It's a big issue.
I think that the president of US is in a very strategic inflection point. He wants to get out, but doesn't know. His pride will not allow him to get out, because if he gets out, he's going to look bad on the US. So, and he got into this war. It wasn't his fault. He was deceived into this war, and now he's gotten into it, and he's trying to find a way to come out. He's promised right now that he's going to hit Iran in such a way that they have never heard, and it's never been heard before. But the question is,
Sir George, have you heard the buck stops here? So so don't make excuses for him that say it's not his fault. He was no, the buck stops at the president's table. So he made the call, and right now it's an unpleasant position for the entire world. It's a whole lot of disruption, and people are. We just don't know now. I think the 40 trillion this week was a wake up call, and we don't know. We just don't know how things are going to happen. Whether inflation is somewhere, the treasury is saying one thing. So it's a lot of there's a lot of uncertainty right now.
You guys have Elon Musk. Let him take a portion of it. Maybe he can pay about it. Let Elon Musk take a portion of it.
So the thing is, the way the system is set up, an individual cannot have that kind of power.
I know.
So they can have all the money, but they cannot come and buy the federal government. So
the bottom line is, your tax system needs to be changed. The wealthy need to pay more. That is one major issue, because the people that are sustaining the economy in the U.S. are the middle class and the lower class. The upper class that got money, they don't pay taxes. Trump said it himself. I'm a smart businessman. You buy shabby companies, and then he will liquidate them, and then use inflated price to have tax breaks for many, many years. When it was discovered, he said, I'm a smart businessman. So these are the loopholes that are left for the wealthy, where they don't pay much of anything. So that's what they needs to be reversed.
Except that those loopholes have never taken us to 40 trillion. But now there's a lot of spending that is going on that has brought us to this point.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
what I'm saying.
you
So
know how much. You know how
let them
much the
send you
Iran
the
war
name
is
of this.
costing every day, every minute, and so it's
Every second, every
yes,
second.
yes,
It is
yes,
crazy.
All
yes,
right,
yes.
gentlemen.
But
Thank you
anyway,
so much.
anyway,
Yeah.
in my prayer, I
Yeah.
pray for Donald Trump.
Yeah, pray
I
for
pray
us,
Donald
please.
Trump.
We need
And
all
I
the
pray for
prayers
the
we can
United
get.
States of America that God
Yes,
will grant him the boldness and the confidence to do the right thing and the
yes,
wisdom to get you guys out of this mess. And I
yes,
pray for the Federal Republic of Nigeria that God will continue to strengthen us and save the people in the middle belt.
yes,
Lord, these are your own creation. Most of
yes,
them are your children. Please save them, save these people's lives, that they will not continue to have sleepless nights, inconsistency in the government promising and failing. Save us and save the whole entire nation. Grant Tinubu and his family safety and wisdom in Jesus' name. Amen.
Powerful. Wow, that's a beautiful way to end the program and a beautiful way to enter into the weekend. So, gentlemen, let's go enjoy our weekend. Prof, thank you so
Yes, sir.
much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thank
you, Sir George. All right.
Thank you, Sir George. Thank you, BD. I'll speak with her later. So until we come again.
And by the way,
Mhm.
Dr. Lufemi, we need you here next week. I miss you. Please come back.
No, he's still lamenting the loss of Oshu.
Oh no.
Dr. Femi, we'll see you next time.
I'm going to take this part and send to him. All right, gentlemen. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.